Izuku over the past couple of months after walking away from UA doing his first instance dungeon has been training mostly over the past bit, wanting to go to Sanyanku Hagayo in Korea. He's been doing a lot of research about Korea, and he realizes that he would actually have a better time in Korea. And even his parents agree, sitting him down one day and talking to him about how in Japan, it very much is a business for hunters. But in Japan, how a lot of hunters associations and organizations and guilds treat their hunters like humans. And Izuku, realizing this, thinks to himself, I guess it would be better to be over there. So Izuku already booked his flight in advance and is ready to go, which is actually um, it starts about 5 months, but he booked his plane over to Korea only 1 month after, so about 3 months, having having 4 months having 4 months of just doing really nothing. But before that, he wanted to do a couple more gates before leaving for Korea, just so he knows that he has enough money. He does, but he's very fickle on it, and he wants to make sure that he doesn't go broke over there, even though he'll already be a fully certified hunter through the Japanese hunter organization, having his records transferred over there, and he's going to actually be meeting with the chairman to make sure all of his stuff is done. The Korean chairman. Izuku over the past couple of months has been learning Korean, and due to the system, it seems that he's actually able to learn and adapt to new languages very fast. At this point, already being able to read, write, and speak Korean 100% fluently. Izuku realizes this, and he wants to take full advantage, learning Chinese, and English. Learning Chinese and English, knowing that those are two of the other powerhouses when it comes to the hunting association, being in America and in China. And with this, Izuku did reevaluate himself and tried to used a skill that he learned over the past 2 months called mana suppression. He suppressed his mana to the point of only getting a B rank certification. Still being a very big thing with the news outlets, has having someone that only recently awakened as a E rank being awakened as a B rank hunter. Now, Izuku with the certification is doing a couple of B rank raids, but at this point, Izuku could easily take down C ranks. Could easily is easily an A rank hunter. Now, Izuku Izuku here meets up with the A rank leader, Chao Koro, a Chinese A rank hunter that came over to Japan. Chao tells him that due to him only being due to him only being freshly awakened, he's still a B rank. So they won't be giving him any special protection. Izuku obviously understands this, and um, has Izuku is completely fine with this. Izuku over the past couple of Izuku over the past couple of months has gotten two new weapons. A the B rank the B rank sword Black Connected Killer, having a 150 attack and 25 and plus 25 strength. It has two special skills. The first skill being Link. When attacking an opponent, you can slash specific parts of their body, creating a line of slashes, making a link with different link points. And when you hit these links, you deal critical damage, which is 100% more damage per link point that you have on the opponent. And its second ability, visceral. When you deal critical damage to an enemy, you heal 10%. Uh, you heal 10% HP. It costs 1 mana per every critical hit you get. And then the S rank lycanthropic devastator with having 150 attack. The B rank, sorry, the B rank lycanthropic devastator having 154 attack power and having plus 20 plus 25 to skills, and with first ability lycanthropy, turning you into a raging beast while wielding this weapon. This form grants you a 50% increase to everything for 6 mana per minute of activation. And the poisonous power in an opponent is attack the blade injects poison into the target. This takes 2% health every second. Izuku also has the level 1 skill, Laugh of the Swordsman, gaining a 30% increase to speed, attack speed, and damage, and also physical damage reduction. And with this, Izuku is going into this dungeon. And as he goes into this dungeon, he notices a weird thing about it. It's not a red gate as he's experienced in the past, but it's also not a normal gate. It seems that something is different about it. But as Izuku goes through the dungeon, collecting, killing, it keeps leveling up. And as the party gets to the to the boss room, they see a giant orc about standing 10 feet tall walk out. And as Izuku sees this, he realizes what it was. He realizes that the reason he's so that he was weirded out was because he could sense that there were enemies in this dungeon that were stronger than there should be. This is a B rank dungeon. The highest there should be is a high B rank. This is easily an A rank monster. And realizing this, Chao and his fellow A rank line up in the front, getting ready to do a frontal assault. But Izuku says, "Let's do this." As he says, "Blacksmith, upgrade Black Connected Killer to A rank." And with that, the Black Connected Killer goes from 154 to 275. Attack goes from 25 to Strength, Sensing, and Vitality to 35, and the Black Connected and Link going from 100% more damage for critical to 150% more for critical. And also, the Visceral goes from 10% to 25%. And he also upgrades Lycanthropic Devastator to A rank, putting that up to 275 as well, putting it also to 35 per. And the Lycanthropy going to 75, and Poisonous Power going to 3%, or not 3%, to 5%, sorry. And with this, Izuku activates his Laugh of the Swordmaster, and then goes into Lycanthropy as he feels himself riling. And Izuku looks at Chao and says, "Follow my lead." As he's laughing maniacally, Chao says, "Get back in line, B rank." But before Chao can say anything, Izuku has already disappeared in a blast of what seems like green and blue energy coming from his trail. And with this, Izuku, lands on the chest of the 10 foot tall monster. And with that, he pulls both of his swords back and says, Black Connected Killer. Link, slamming the Black Connected Killer into the chest of this giant beast, tearing down, linking as many points as he can. And with that, he stabs Lycanthropic Devastator into it, injecting poison, as he then just starts going ham on it. The monster grabs Izuku and throws him to the side, slamming him into the cave. Izuku gets up, blue and green energy, just pouring off him as he disappears from sight. As him and the monsters clash, monster bringing up his giant axe. Izuku clashing, hit after hit after hit after hit. And with this, Izuku Izuku's laughing even more, even more, even more, as he's getting more and more and more into this. And with this, Izuku sees two pop-ups. These two pop-ups are a notification that Laugh of the Swordmaster has leveled up to level 2, going from 30% to 55%, and that Izuku has unlocked a new skill, Fell Giant. When fighting enemies that are bigger than you, you deal 40% more damage and move as well as attack 30% faster. With this, Izuku licks his lips as he feels his swords in his hands, grips them tight as he just starts going ham. The monster seems to start getting pushed back as Izuku keeps going ham at it. The A rank Cho says, "What are we doing? Help him!" As they charge in. Izuku smiles. He says, "Is everything getting? How do I say? Are you getting overwhelmed?" The monster says, "Shut up!" As the monster slams his foot as he sees a pop-up that says, "Enemy has activated skill Tremor Stomp." And Izuku sees this stomp, and with that, a blastful tremor just eviscerates the surrounding area as everyone is being sort of knocked around. Izuku in the air, clashing, is not affected, but he says, "Oh, so you like using skills, huh?" That's fun. How about we go head on head? As Izuku activates a skill that he learned over the past 2 months. Flashback. We flash back to about a month prior to this, about 1 month after leaving the UA grounds after his instance dungeon. Izuku is in a normal just C rank dungeon, a normal C rank gate, as he's just fighting alongside a random strike squad that he joined up with. And when this happens, Izuku sees something weird. A seemingly giant, a giant that comes out of nowhere for for no reason in particular you can see, at least, and it slams down on one of the C rank hunters. And when Izuku sees this, he realizes he has to clock he has to go in. That's when Izuku activated his Laugh of the Swordsman and went berserk on this monster. This is where Izuku got the Black Connected Killer off of the corpse of this giant and this is where he got this skill, Monster Strength. When activated, the user goes into a state of pure rage, making the user stronger, more durable, and faster. This state absorbs five mana every 10 seconds. Flashback to present day. Izuku activates this as everyone realizes that Izuku is pushing this monster back even more. And with that, Izuku lands on the ground as he reverses his grip on his blades. And he says, Now then, let's go. He he blitzes forward, a giant crater appearing under him as he switches his grip, and with a giant formation, slams down almost as if he's trying to destroy a mountain and completely eviscerates this thing, this giant monster. And with that, Izuku levels up to uh to to level 43. And with that, Izuku gets a level up reward. The level up reward is a key that says put in gate 4 at Sanyang-kun Hagoyo High School in Korea. Izuku nods his head as as he as he gets his pay for the gate, getting actually a bonus because of how much he put forward at the boss fight, and he just waits. He waits around until his flight gets there. And the day that Izuku's flight is scheduled, he wa- uh he goes to the airport. His parents take him, and as he's about to board, Izuku's father says, "Now then, Izuku, when you're 18, you have a very important choice. The choice is either to come back to Japan or become a Korean hunter." Izuku says, "Hmm, what will you do if I become a Korean hunter?" As he looks at both his parents. Hiyashi says, Hiyashi says, or Hisashi says, if you become a Korean hunter, then that mean me and your mother won't be able to see you as often. Izuku nods his head with a smile and says, "Well, I have about 3.5 years at least until then. But once it comes, um, I'll make sure to visit you guys every holiday, and also some sporadic visits throughout the year." With that, Hisashi nods his head, giving his son a hug with a smile, and says, "I know you'll become a great hunter, Izuku." Inko nods her head with tears rolling down her face as she hugs her son. She says, I know you will too." And with that, Izuku says bye to his parents as he heads off to become a Korean hunter. As he lands in Korea, he has a meeting with the head of the or the chairman of the Korean Hunter Association, Chairman Go. He gets there, and Chairman Go sits him down and says, "Hello, I am the chairman of the Hunter Association, and I know that you are a Japanese transfer student." Izuku says, "Yes, I am a Japanese transfer student. I am transferring to Sanyang-kun Hagoyo because I believe it would be the best fit for me." Chairman Go looks him up and down and says, "What is on file? It says that you're a B rank hunter, and you were reevaluated, correct?" Izuku nods his head and says, "Yes, I was reevaluated. Uh, but I." And then Go looks at him and says, "Are you really a B rank hunter, though?" Izuku looks at him in the eyes and says, "Yes, I'm a B rank hunter." Mr. Go then says, Well, then you'll get an B-rank hunter's output when you're reevaluated in this and on the first day of school. Izuku looks at him and says, "I've already been reevaluated though." Says, "Well, Mr. Go says, well, we reevaluate our kids at the beginning of every school year to make sure that they don't to make sure nothing changes." Izuku nods his head understandingly and says, "Hmm, I will." As Mr. Go says, "Good. From what I can tell, you're very much stronger than any any B-rank hunter I know." Izuku just says, "Damn, am I really that obvious?" He thinks to himself. And with that, Izuku says, "You're very, isn't Sanyanku and Hagayo very close here, to here, correct?" Mr. Go nods his head as he says, "Yes, it is very close. The Hunter Association, actually funds the school, as we want to make sure the hunters of Korea, such as yourself." Uh, Izuku smiles at that, already saying that Mr. Go recognizes him as a hunter, as a Korean hunter. Mr. Go continues, "We want to make sure that all of you get the proper education that you need to become a top grade hunter." Izuku nods his head. "Well then," Izuku starts. I believe this is all. This is all." Mr. Go nods his head and says, "Yes. If there's anything you need, please do not be scared to ask." Izuku gets up, nods his head, and walks off. With that, we see Izuku outside of Sanyaku Hagio 4. Sanyaku Hagio door 4 as he inserts the key. And as he does, he appears inside of a weird hallway with werewolf looking werewolf looking um, knights that all have halberds. They line themselves up as Izuku gets ready to fight. And as he gets ready to pounce, the he hears a he hears a voice from the hallway down saying, "You can fight them later. Right now, I want you to fight me." Izuku curious walks down the hallway, still very much in a defensive position, making sure no one can get the drop on him. And when he gets down to the end of the hallway, he sees a samurai with a ginormous katana, a very long katana. I'm talking like Sephiroth's katana. And with that, Izuku smiles, puts his swords in front of him. He says, "Now, let's go." The samurai man nods his head and says, "I'm ready." And with that, they both slam forward, a giant explosion of sound as the blades rush together, metal on metal. And with that, Izuku realizes that this man is barely trying. Izuku says, "Blacksmith, upgrade, lycanthropic devastator, and black connected killer to S rank." And with that, black connected killer goes up to 475 attack and plus 50 to strength, sense, and vitality. And lycanthropic devastator goes up to 450 attack, um, with the same plus 50. And the 100% uh, more damage per link point goes up to 200%. and the visceral goes up from 25 to 50%. And the lycanthropy increase goes from 75 to 100%. Um, and the poisonous power goes from 5% to 7%. And with that, Izuku activates. The man is a little bit taller than him, but not enough for Fell Giant to activate. Izuku activates Laughing Swordsman and activates Monster Strength. As he sees the man get actually starts getting serious, but as he gets serious, Izuku feels this man's pressure weighing down on him, and with that, Izuku uh, Izuku starts getting happy. Izuku gets happy because he finally has a challenge. Although before he's really just been curb stomping all of his enemies. But now he feels as though people are actual as though he's actually getting. It feels as though he actually has something that he has to overcome. And with that, Izuku just is so is just he licks his lips as he smiles. The samurai man smiles as well and says, "Seems it seems you as well are fond of battle." Izuku nods his head as he says, "Let's start." With that, just slam after slam after slam after slam. These explosion of sparks are flying off of his blade as the with every clash, the same thing happens. Explosion, explosive crater in the floor. And with that, Izuku starts pushing him back, but the man starts pushing him back as well, as they seem to come to a stalemate in the middle of the room. And with that, Izuku thinks to himself, "I can't win this off pure strength alone. I have to." But before Izuku can get that out, the man the man takes one of his hands off his the man takes one of his hands off the blade, and with that, he turns his hand into pure metal as he slams Izuku in the gut. Izuku coughing up blood as he gets flung backwards slamming into the wall. The man blitzes forward, and Izuku barely blocks it with his sword as he rolls underneath, as he falls underneath him, rolling, tucking himself in, as he stands up and just says, coughing up more blood. Jesus Christ! But before Izuku can think, he sees the man's legs turn to metal as the man disappears from sight. And before Izuku can think, he has another right hook to his face made of pure metal, sending him flying into the side of the wall. Izuku just can't even understand what's happening as the man's sword slams into Izuku's shoulder, going through it as Izuku just yells out in pain. But Izuku's not. He's not really mad or even scared. He still is just laughing along as Izuku puts away his swords, and as he puts his hands up as he says, "If it's a bare knuckle fight you want," Izuku jumps into the air. Then it's a bare knuckle fight you'll get. As when he jumps into the air, he sees himself, and boom, explodes off the top of the ceiling as he meets the samurai man's fists, creating an explosion of pure power and propulsive force that some of the werewolf soldiers get flung backwards. Izuku and this man keep going blow for blow, but Izuku is just laughing along the way as his fist You feel him getting harder and harder and harder as he slams as the man slams into his stomach. Izuku fights back his need to throw up as he nods his head as he says, "You're strong." Cocks back his fist, slamming a punch straight into the face of the samurai man. The man gets flung backwards, doing flip after flip after flip, landing upside down, slamming face and creating a giant crater in the back wall. Izuku doesn't let up at all as as he feels energy burst into his feet as he's there 1 second, disappears the next, and the next second he feels his foot slam into the back of the samurai man. And with that, Izuku laughs as the man falls to the ground. As Izuku says, "Are you dead yet?" The man smiles, a devious smile, and says, "Death, I will not die. I will live on in you." As the man gets up instantly, going to hit Izuku in the face. Izuku, but Izuku dodges it as he slams the man in the face with an uppercut, backflips, and slams the man straight into the ground. Izuku blitzes over as he starts just piling punches onto this man's face, blood flying everywhere. As Izuku gets out the black connected killer, slams it into his throat, and with that, tens, tens, tens of tens of link points go on. He brings it up as he slams both his swords into the man's neck, ripping his head from his body, blood flying everywhere. As for the first time he looks at his blades. From the upgrading to S rank, it seems that his swords have changed. It seems that um his black connected killer has turned pure blue, has turned pure black iron, but on the blade it has on each side has three connected link points that the three of them glow with pure energy. And his lycanthropic devastator, the bone blade has turned green, and the and the and the iron hilt has turned pure gold. The green bone blade seems sharper, and it seems as though it's turned to some form of almost glass-like iron. And with this, Izuku just smiles as he sees a little stone. He sees a stone appear from he sees a stone come out of the neck of the man. He picks it up, and it says, "Skill Iron Body is contained inside." Izuku nods his head and smiles as he breaks it. As he gets skill level 1, Iron Body. As he feels his body just become essentially iron. As he turns his fist to iron for a second, as he nods his head. But realizing the quest isn't over, he thinks to himself, what's happening? And when that happens, a timer appears. As he sees a prompt that says, "Good luck." And with that, all the werewolf soldiers start blitzing towards him. As he doesn't understand what's happening, but he nods his head as he starts turning them, as he starts blitzing through. And with that, he sees a prompt that says, This is the end of the job change quest. Last as long as possible. Each kill is 1 point. Each normal werewolf soldier is 1 point. Each werewolf soldier mage is 2 points. And each hulking werewolf soldier is 3 points. Get as many points as possible. Max time limit is 24 hours. Izuku nods and says so. I have to withstand 24 hours of this. That should be easy. Izuku kept his reward his refreshment reward from his daily workout quest because he knew that he was going to go into this and just to make sure. And with that, Izuku tests out his iron body skill. He turns his hands into iron. As he goes to slash, and he realizes that with these iron, that it doesn't just make his fist stronger. It makes his slashes heavier. As with a single slash, he cuts through 16, what seems like 16 normal werewolf soldiers. And with that, Izuku smiles as he realizes that if he could just do if he can uh, he smiles as he thinks to himself for a second, and he nods his head, and he blitzes forward, activating lycanthropy and iron body in the same time as all there is a giant wolf. Is a giant is a giant iron uh, a giant iron hulking werewolf with pure murder in its eyes, laughing like an la- laughing like a laughing like an imbecile. As he gets to one of the hulking werewolf soldiers, Fell Giant activates as he cuts through 10 of them at the same time. And with that, Izuku just is laughing and smiling like a monster. And with this, Izuku stops for a second, realizing that it's only been 5 minutes. Izuku smiles, knowing what this means. And with that, Izuku for the next 23 hours and 55 minutes just goes insane, killing as many as possible. And reaching that 24-hour threshold, he kills the remaining foot soldiers, mages, and hulking brutes. He sits down against a wall. And with that, Izuku hears completion of reaching the 24-hour threshold grants bonus points. Killing all monsters grants bonus points. Bonus points added as well. Being above 50% health. Bonus being having a mana consumption. Having very good mana consumption and making sure mana stays very well. Bonus points. Bonus points. As he keeps getting bonus points on top of his normal points. And with that, Izuku gets instead of just a normal swordsman or fighter, he gets special he gets his special ability, his special class, Monarch of the Blade. Gaining ability Blade Attunement. Any normal basic sword can turn to a C rank sword with which grants it a plus 35 attack bonus and 10% to plus 10 to strength. And has a magic ability called Slicer, the ability to chop any creature weaker than the sword grade, creating a bleed effect that slows them down for 20%, including their attack speed, and also loses 10% health. If the grade of the sword is C rank or higher, it increases by 1 grade, adding 35% and plus 5 to all stats for each of the grade above C rank. If it is an S rank already, it turns to a king rank, adding plus 15 to all stats. It also gains the slice the Slice ability. And you can attune to 4 blades at once, and it costs 100 mana to attune to a blade. Ability 2, War Mage. Your blade enhances with mana. Your blades enhance with mana, being able to cast any offensive spell of your blade's rank or lower. If king rank, you can cast spells of S rank at 10 times the power. Elemental Carver. Your ability with the blade has made you a master. This ability allows you to bathe your blade in the forces of nature. 5 mana per second to keep the element on the weapon. Speedster. While passive, it gives the user a 40% increase weapon attack speed, and normal speed. But when activated, it increases to 90%. It increases to 90%. This increases with the agility stat. Each point of agility is +1 to passive. Active. It is 5 mana. It is 5 mana per second. Blade's Eye. You have the ability to gain a Blade's ability/abilities permanently, but in the process you will destroy the weapon. The new skill will cost a mana. The 9 Red Scabbards. When the Monarch of the Sword is awakened, he gains retainers. These retainers all have swords with their own unique abilities. 2 abilities each, and you can give them swords with different abilities, if stats equal to your own. And with saying that last part, 9 people appear in front of Izuku, all standing, all in a bowing position. The first scabbard he sees on the far right. The scabbard looks up and says, "My name is Ichigo." The woman has red hair with a white gi on, and white straps on her wrist and chest which cover her breasts, a dark blue face mask, and white pants. She has a giant canvas of tattoos such as dragons, tigers, and Oni on her back. And she says, after saying my name is Ichigo, she gets up and says, "So you're our master, eh?" As she gets up and says, "So." Izuku says, "You're very much a delinquent, aren't you?" The woman puts her blade to Izuku's neck and says, Yeah." Izuku just says, "Please now, do not. Please, for the love of God, don't, don't." Um, Izuku says, "Please, for the love of God, don't make me kill you." She backs up and says, You got guts, do ya?" Ichigo's weapon is her sword's name is Shiki Fujin. It has the ability Shikigami. It can She can summon 2 Shinigami to fight with her. These summons equal her strength. One has a sword, Zanpakuto, that can use, while the other uses magic, Kido. Zanpakuto and Kido are the names of this Shinigami. Zanpakuto can use the second ability, and Kido can use any spells of your rank or lower. Getsuga. Ichigo can expel a blast of pure mana. It can be infused with any element out of her sword. Now, the second to the right, Tenshi Gin. Gin has samurai armor on that is half Oni looking and half angel looking. One side being Oni and one side being angel looking. None of his body is showing through the armor. The angel side is all white, with a feathered angel-like wing pointing out, pointing out of his back, popping out of his back, pointing upwards. The Oni side is pure black with a stone-like wing pointing downwards, popping out of his back. He switches. Now, Gen gets up and says, "Hello, master." But then he says, "Yeah, I agree with you, Ichigo. He does look like a pipsqueak." He says, "Oh, please, please be lenient with me. Yeah, yeah, Pipsqueak, who do you think you are? Please be leading it with me. Izuku nods his head as he says, understandable. The third one gets up as he says, hello there, my name is Ite. My sword is Gappan. It has the ability 52 cards. When activated, my sword turns into 52 magic bows that fire pure mana bolts that I can fire at will using my mental link between each bow. I also have the ability of 13 suits. When activated, 13 portals behind me that spawn 13 different monsters under my control. These monsters grow in power as I grow in power, which is you growing in power. The He's saying this while he's shuffling a deck of cards. Uh, Ite has sea blue hair with 4 screen eyes. He wears a poker dealer's outfit with a half purple, half pink bow tie. And he always carries a deck of cards asking you to play. And Ite finishes saying, the 13 monsters are an orc, an ice slayer, an ant, a goblin, a demon, an undead soldier, a dark knight, a lichen, an ice bear, a vampire, an elemental spirit, and a dragon. And then he disappears. He says, "Your wallet is very much easy to grab. Would you like to play a game of cards for it?" Izuku snatches his wallet back, putting his sword to Ite's throat, saying, "I'm the master here. You're not." Ite nods his head as he says, keep your wallet protected better. Now then, now then, I'll go back to sitting down." As he disappears, as he sees over as he sees over Ichigo and Ite are playing cards. Ichigo screaming at him that she's going to kill him, as Ite seems to be taking all of her money. The fourth one, Scabbard Kuro. Kuro has a half blue, half red face. He has white armor with gems all throughout it, shining like a rainbow. He has a gorilla charm on his arm and guard on his arm guard that's red, and a blue club. The gorilla charm is red, and a blue club charm on his sword hilt. He goes up to Izuku and says, "Now then, now then, if you ever try to, if you ever, and I mean ever, try to order me around, I'll make a funny joke." Izuku confused says, "What the hell? Why are all of you weird people?" Says, "Ah, you getting smart with me? Because if you are, it's pretty funny to be fair." Izuku just says, "What's your sword and what are your abilities?" Says, you want to get down to the nitty gritty, huh? I'm just trying to be nice. Anyways, my sword, Shiro. First ability I have is Owl. The sword turns into a blue club. Uh, and whenever I hit someone with it, the club doesn't actually physically connect with them, but it fills the creature's body with mana, exploding them from the inside. Second ability is Akka. The sword actually disappears, and it covers me, turning me into a gorilla of lava. In this form, I'm physically stronger, faster, and more durable. Izuku nods his head and says, "Are you gonna go play cards with them?" He says, "Oh yeah, you know what? I am gonna go play cards with them. I am gonna go play cards with them actually. And it's kind of fun." Izuku just nods his head. The fifth one, Yuki, walks up. Yuki has puppet strings on, hanging down from their waist. They have a black tuxedo with blood diamonds on their cuffs and a smile that shows a love of death and an intoxication with murder. They look down at Izuku, saying, "Your blood is red, correct?" They very much have an androgynous appearance. Izuku nods his head. "Well, let's test it." As they bring out their sword, Shiketsu. Shiketsu. Ability, they put their sword up to Izuku, and they say, "My ability, Chi. When I kill an enemy, their blood flies toward my sword, making it poisonous. I can inject the poison into an opponent, and the opponent takes 10% of their health for 5 seconds." They start laughing as they say, "And my second ability, Mage. When I inject an opponent, I can put them into a puppet-like state that lasts for 5 minutes. While in this state, I can control them as I want. After this 5 minutes, they go back to being a normal They go back to being normal." Izuku nods his head. Says it's a very strong ability. They nod their head and says, "What, you wanna know what else is fun? My sword inside of your gullet." Izuku says, "If you try to touch me, I will turn you into a bloody pulp on the ground." They back up and Yuki says, "Oh, you're a fun one." The next one pops up. It's a woman. It's a woman with a white science coat on and green goggles. She has black high shorts with no shoes on. The scientist goes all the way down to her ankles. She has red hair and has a cigarette in her mouth. She goes up to him and says, "Name's Ed. Name's Ed. I'm I have a sword. It's called STEM. My sword can turn into a giant army of attack robots that I can command. The robot army consists of 1,000 robots, half of them being ranged and the other half being hand-to-hand brawlers. I then have my second ability is called Trimmer. When I slash the air, I create a tremor in the earth. These tremors can interact with any structure, or I can directly make a tremor and hit a creature." She then sits down and says, "You seem like an interesting man. I see you killed the old general, eh?" Izuku looks back and says, "Was that like your guys' boss?" Ed nods her head along with the rest of the along with Ichigo, Gen, Ite, Kuro, and Yuki, as well as the next three. Light. A man comes up and says, "My name is Light." Light has brown hair and a yellow pinstripe suit with a set of nice O glasses and a beautiful face. He says, "My name is Light. My sword is called Pika. My first ability is called Prism. I can make a slash in the air, creating an array of rainbow lights that slam into enemy after enemy. My second ability, Super Crash. I can slam my sword into the ground and create an explosion of pure light underneath enemies in a certain area." Izuku nods his head, realizing that he talks slower than most people. With that, he goes off and goes back to the line, getting in a kneeling position. The next one comes up, being called Shin. Shin isn't wearing a shirt. But he has very messy hair with a ponytail. He's wearing blood-stained black sweats and scars all over his face. He looks ready to kill. He looks ready to kill. Shin says, "Name's Shin. My sword is called O, as in king. My first ability, Blade. My sword can multiply into 4, and I grow 2 new arms. As he throws his blade, into the air. Four come out as two as two new arms grow out of his abdomen, out of his sides, as he then starts wielding the four new blades. As the blades turn to a weird, glowy blue state, being made of pure mana. Then he says, my second ability is called Shade. As a giant dome of black mana appears. In here, my opponents are infected with a disease that decays the creature, that decays them slowly. Izuku says, okay. He then deactivates his ability and says, now then, I'm gonna go lay down. Shen goes back to the line and lays down, seemingly falling asleep instantly. Then a very short girl called, she proclaimed herself as Lane. Lane says, my sword is called Serial Experiments. My abilities are Copy and Thought Find. Copy giving me the ability to create copies of myself, and Thought Find being able to read any thoughts that I want. Lane looks very young, with a dead face and schoolgirl clothes. Izuku says, so, you're all my... They all go back to the line, Ite putting up his deck of cards, as they all nod their head. Izuku then pops his neck as he realizes that all of them look relatively human-like. Only one not looking very human-like being Kuro, but he could just give Kuro a face mask, and he could look and all of them now look very, very much like humans. And Izuku says, so all nine of you are as strong as I am. They all nod their head as he says, all right, prove it to me. They all look at each other, and then Yuki pops up and says, does that mean that we get to fucking kill you? Izuku shakes his head and says, no, I don't want you to kill me. Ed then says, so, are we going to start skewering each other? Shin says, I don't really care. As long as I get to kill something, I'm fine. But again says, it seems that he has a test. Yeah, and this test is gonna be his death. No, this test is going to most likely be... Nah. This test. Then Izuku says, again, you didn't tell me what your sword or your ability was. Gen says, oh, my apologies. Yeah, what about it? My apologies, sir. My sword is Tenshi to Oni. I can absorb my sword, turning me into an angel. The first ability, Commander. I can absorb my sword into myself, turning me into an angel, giving me the ability to use magic, but specializing in offensive magic. Any offensive spell that I cast is as powerful as the rank above, for the mana consumption of a lower rank. And I have an ability called Pack Leader. I can absorb my sword again, but this time turning me into an Oni. It gives me the ability to use magic, but I specialize in healing magic. Any healing magic I cast again has the effect of the rank above it for the mana consumption of the rank I cast it at. But Izuku says, "No, what I thought was," as he slams his fist. Izuku says, "Now then, instead of anything like killing each other, what I'm going to do is as he slams his fist into his hand. I'm going to clash with each of you. That's where we're going to end there.